kinds of science.
What he did is he tried to do experiments, and every single one of them flopped, and they backfired, and they blew up in his face, and he tried to pin everything on Chopsley, and Chopsley would always get one over on him.
Now, the obvious question immediately presents itself: why? Why did this happen? And the fact that
well, the Jesuits let him know that they expected the station to stand for something. And he figured that, well, if you're going to stand for something, we'll let you know. And started the editorial.
And we had props everywhere. Even on the news desk, there were these great placards in front of the newsman declaring who was sponsoring the show. And now it wouldn't be allowed at all.
Good evening. This is the 5 o'clock news for Monday, February the 22nd.
He was the Edward R. Murrow of our generation. He had a very, very distinct style. He was a hard-hitting, fearless reporter. The tougher the story, the happier he was.
Garland Robinette, Angela Hill. From Channel 4 Television, this is Eyewitness News.
Took us 5 years to become #1, particularly in news. And then we've been there ever since.
But he refused.
He was a rare, uncommon man. He could write like an angel, and often did.
Please to begin.
New Orleans is a city unlike any other in America, so it stands to reason you'd find a television station here that is unlike few others as well. That station is WWL-TV. Its call letters are legendary, its reputation known nationwide. And like the city it calls home, this station is full of unforgettable characters and remarkable stories. For Chapter 1, you have to flash back, in black and white, to the year 1957. That's the year WWL signed on the air. The station billed itself as the newest view in town. And on Saturday night, September 7th, Channel 4 began broadcasting from its new studios in a converted 7-Up bottling plant on North Rampart Street.
The newest look in TV, Channel 4, WWL-TV, Loyola University of the South.
It's my happy privilege to be the first to welcome you to this inaugural program of WWL-TV. Tonight is a memorable event in the history of WWL and Loyola University.
Yes, there's really good news tonight. You notice a little bit of the Rampart Street parade in there. Well, something new has been added to Rampart Street. It's 1024 North Rampart, and we'd like you folks to come down and see our very beautiful studios. We have just about everything possible to make Channel 4 the channel. At 7 o'clock, we'll join the CBS network for the first time for the Gale Storm show.
On opening night, an orchestra, local dignitaries, and even Mayor Chet Morrison helped celebrate the kickoff.
It's a very proud night for everyone who is here. It's a very proud night for me, as Mayor of New Orleans, acting for the 700,000 people of our community and getting this new, wonderful enterprise in New Orleans starting today.
The TV station, owned by the Jesuits of Loyola University, had the same call letters and CBS network ties as its radio powerhouse. And many of the early TV stars used the broadcasting skills they had sharpened there to make the transition. One of them became such a part of our lives, he was like a member of the family, an uncle, Uncle Henry Dupree.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of putting on something near and dear to my heart, a program for children. When does it start? This coming Monday, Monday through Friday thereafter from 5:30 until 6. So be my guest, won't you, on Popeye and his pals.
There was also Miss Ginny, the TV teacher whose romper room schoolhouse was where we all wanted to be, doobies and don't-bees alike. In fact, our own Meg Ferris was a doobie years before she joined the staff here. And how about Captain Mercury? Local TV legend John Pila jumped into the space race with a show of his own back in the early 60s.
And Captain Mercury was going to be the first guy to land on the moon. And he did it every day with this little spaceship and about 7 of our little astronauts, the little kids dressed up with the little gear.
We're going to play here. We're going to start a new game today.
Channel 4 also had Bozo, capitalizing on the clown show craze. But there was also a very local star in the making then, too. In 1959, just 2 years into Channel 4's history, he spilled onto the scene.
Hello, my dear followers of the fantastic. Once again, my genius shall be put to a test before the entire scientific world. Those bone brains at the university who kicked me out years ago shall regret the words they spoke against me. They said I was a nut.
There was only one place to be on Saturday night back then, parked in front of a TV set for the science lesson from this distinguished doctor, Momus Alexander Morgus. With the help from able assistants Eric,
yes, master,
and Chopsley, Dr. Morgus broadcast each week from his lab above the old city ice house, updating viewers on his scientific exploits in between segments of horror movies.
You just follow me. Remember I told you someday I would make you famous?
Oh, big. That was big. Your dates got planned around Morgus. Every Saturday night, there was the House of Shock. Because if you didn't want to catch the beginning of the show, you could catch the end of it, because you had to take your date home. Or you had to find a, American drugstore with a TV in it, a little black and white Muntz TV, and because you had to see Morgus.
Hello, my dear lovers of science, doctors, and friends of medicine. As you can see, I'm in the process of putting my dear assistant here, Chopsley, into a deep sleep, at which time I'm going to connect the artificial heart machine by, first of all, cutting an incision right here in the chest, and then pulling the heart out, and... Wait a minute. What's the matter? Oh, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, Chopsley. Look, if I ever failed... Oh, don't be silly. I've never failed at anything.
It was appointment television. 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon, you were watching the show.
That show was about the biggest thing in television for New Orleans teenagers at the time. It was must-see TV in the 60s and 70s here in New Orleans, our local version of American Bandstand. The show began as Saturday Hop, but was later renamed for its popular new host.
I was here 2 weeks, and Mike Early called me up to his office, and he said, have you ever done a dance show before? Now, let me preface this. In television, in those days, you never said no. I said, yes, I've done a dance show before. Now, I did a dance show one Saturday afternoon in a department store in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for the radio station that I worked for. That was the dance show that yes, I've done a dance show before. Good, because, and this was on a Thursday. He said, good, because this Saturday you're doing Saturday Hop. So we got into it, and we started doing it, and it was pretty easy because I'd been a disc jockey before on radio. So, introducing records is no big deal, but a little repartee in between there, you've got to come up with some things. And it didn't take me too long to really get comfortable with it.
The dancers are all set to go. Stevie Wonder's new one, Stevie Wonder's big one, For Once in My Life.
Pila got comfortable, and the show became more popular. The young dancers became stars themselves, especially the regulars from the Hazel Romano and Tony Bevinetto dancing schools.
We had so many different dances coming out of that period. The frug, the monkey, of course, the twist, and there were one or two of them that got maybe a little bit too raucous. So we would say, okay, let's cool it on that one.
Dance styles were changing, along with everything else back in the 60s. Eventually, station managers realized their Saturday afternoon show needed to reflect that change. For help, the host turned to a friend with a new assignment as associate pastor of a New Orleans church.
He said, "How many couples do you want?"